So 2 years ago, I posted a short on my alt account showing a dumpling squishy that I had made. I'd promised a tutorial at 20 subs, but over time 20 subs didn't come, so eventually I gave up on that channel and started a new one. And I'd already completely forgot about that video. Until 3 days ago when a random person commented on that video asking about the dumpling squishy tutorial. It was only then that I decided to check how many subs I had on my out account, and there were already 25. Which was a problem because now I either had to make the tutorial or I could lie and not make it, which was very unethical. So you know what, let's just get this over with and make the tutorial. The first step is to take a wet wipe and leave it out to dry, which usually takes around half a day to a day. Last time I used those plastic translucent gloves, which worked a lot better. And now the wet wipe has completely dried, so you want to find the center, kind of scrunch it up a bit, and use a small rubber band to tie a knot. This creates like the top of the dumpling squishy, which is kind of scrunched together. And this is how it should look when you're finished. Now let's move on to stuffing the dumpling squishy. So all you need to do is to get a bit of cotton and put it in the middle of the squishy. Then you want to fold up the corners to the middle and secure them with tape and try to make it as theoretical as possible. So now I think that looks good enough. Next, we're drawing on the face, and it should probably be the most easy part of the whole project. I tried using a pen at first, but the marks didn't go on very well. Then I switched to a Sharpie, but either my Sharpie isn't working or it just doesn't draw on this sort of material very well, but it didn't really work much better. So now I'm switching to Posca markers, which should work, right? Well, the fabric sort of stuck to the nib, so it also doesn't work. But I don't really have any other markers that I can use, so let's just use the Posca. And I feel like the nib isn't just supposed to fall out of the marker like that, but it should be fine, right? So I'm done the dumpling part of the squishy now, but it's kind of deformed and the tape isn't sticking on really well because I improvised and used different materials. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap it in some plastic wrap and hopefully that will hold its shape better. It is now time to make the box for the squishy, and I'm looking at the box right now and it seems pretty simple, so let's just begin. I also decided to draw a template so it'd be easier for you guys, and I just finished drawing, so let's print it out. That came out beautiful. And here's a picture of the template so you can screenshot it and print it yourself. Now you want to print the template on cardstock, but if you're using regular paper like me, just stick it onto another piece of paper and it will reinforce it enough. The paper is nice and thick now, so let's cut it out. Now take the thickest strip of paper. This piece will wrap around the base. Grab the base piece. Now comes the annoying part. You're gonna take the long, thick strip of paper and wrap it around the base piece, taping both sides evenly. And I'm not really sure how to explain the process, so just observe what I am doing. And I will do the rest off camera and come back to you later. And we have finished taping all the way around now. All there is left for the bottom is to take some glue and glue the extra flap that's sticking out down. Now we can just move on to the lid. Once you've got the lid cut out, you can use a hole punch Oh, wait, you can't use a hole punch. You can use a pair of scissors to poke holes inside the lid. These holes will allow the handle to go through. Now it's time to assemble the sides of the lid. My paper printed with a bit of a white border at the edge, and I'm using that as a fringe by cutting slits into it to make it easier to glue down. However, if you do not have that fringe, you can use the annoying taping method. It works just as well, but I like the gluing method better. And I've now completed the lid. Now on the old steamer, I made the box and the lid the same size, which caused a bunch of unwanted folds. This time I made sure to make the lid a bit larger than the base, which should solve the problem, but somehow I'm still struggling to close the box, but I think that might just be a skill issue. There we go. All there is left to make is the handle and the inside lining, and then we'll be finished. The rectangular piece is the handle. This part is quite simple. You just want to fold the piece many times until it reaches the thickness you desire. Now we can add the handle onto the lid. We just need to insert the handle into the holes, and if they're not big enough, you can just cut them to make them more suitable for the shape of the handle. Once both sides are in, fold and adjust the handle as necessary and tape the back side together. Now your handle is locked in place, and this is how everything should look. Now let's make the inside lining. The original one I made was made out of parchment paper. However, in the template, I included a circle, so you have a size to trace onto the parchment paper, or if you don't have parchment paper, you can use the circle instead. The inside is created by simply making a paper snowflake. If you don't know how to make a paper snowflake, just fold the paper in half 3 times until you get something that looks like this. From there, you can just cut holes wherever you feel like it. I actually folded my paper 4 times, and you can do that too if you want more detailed results. And this is how mine came out. And after putting the lining in the box, we are finally done. Overall, I'm really happy with how this came out. Unfortunately, the squishy I made this time wasn't nearly as pretty as the old one, but the box definitely made up for it. Just look how perfect it looks. Well, that's all there is to the tutorial, and I hope this video was helpful, so thanks for watching. Bye! Okay, what is this? 42 subscribers? Plus 16 in the last 28 days, and look at the analytics. This seems pretty normal, right? But if you go to 1 year... What just happened here? And like, the weirdest thing is that the last video I posted was back in 2024. So, I have a good idea. How about instead of subscribing to my old abandoned channel, you subscribe to this one? Sounds nice, right?